Investors are quietly rejecting your deals, not because they're bad, but because they don't trust you enough to risk their money. Hi, this is Farhad, and I help business owners and real estate leaders grow faster, without stress or burnout, by sharing what I've learned from 20 years in sales, marketing, and human behavior. And stay with me until the end, because I'm going to give you a free resource called the Trust Signal Implementation Framework that can help you build real confidence into your marketing and make your business far more attractive to serious investors. Let's talk about something that almost nobody says clearly enough in real estate marketing. Most businesses do not have a lead problem. They do not have a traffic problem. They do not even have a content problem. What they really have is a confidence problem. And when confidence is missing, investors hesitate. They wait. They delay. They ask for more time. They say they need to think about it. Or worse, they move their money somewhere else. And the hard part is this can happen even when your project is good, your location is strong, and your numbers actually make sense. This is why investor-focused real estate marketing matters so much. Because investors are not regular buyers. They are not shopping with emotion first. They are not asking, can I picture myself living here? They are asking, is this safe? Is this smart? Is this credible? And can I trust the people behind it? That is a very different conversation. And if your marketing speaks like you're talking to a casual buyer, while your audience is thinking like an investor, you create friction right away. The message misses, the trust drops, and growth slows down. A lot of business owners feel this slowdown, but do not know how to name it. They feel busy, their calendar is full, their team is posting content, running ads, building decks, sending emails, and updating listings. But somehow, the business still feels stuck. That feeling is frustrating because activity can trick you into thinking progress is happening. But movement is not always momentum. You can do 100 things and still not move forward if those things are not building confidence in the mind of the investor. This is where many real estate businesses get trapped. They keep adding more tactics, more ads, more social posts, more flyers, more landing pages, more meetings, more software, more ideas. And none of that is wrong by itself. The problem is when tactics replace clarity. When you do too many disconnected things, your message gets weak. And when your message gets weak, investors start feeling uncertainty. In real estate, uncertainty is expensive because money does not move where confidence is low. Think about it from the investor's point of view. Investors are not just buying a property or backing a deal. They are buying a story about the future. They are buying the belief that this project will perform, that the team can execute, that the market demand is real, and that the risk is understood and managed. So every piece of your marketing should help answer one quiet question in the investor's mind. Why should I believe you? That is the real question underneath almost every investor conversation. And this is where strong marketing becomes powerful. Not loud marketing, not clever marketing, strong marketing. Marketing that reduces doubt. Marketing that creates clarity. Marketing that makes people feel like they are in good hands. Because confidence is not built through hype. Confidence is built through consistency, proof, structure, and simple communication. One of the biggest mistakes I see is when businesses talk too much about themselves and not enough about the investor's concerns. They say things like, we are passionate, we are committed, we are innovative, we are dedicated. That all sounds nice, but it is weak unless it is backed by real evidence. Investors do not invest because you sound excited. They invest because you sound credible. There is a big difference. Excitement can attract attention, but credibility closes the gap between interest and action. So if you want investor-focused real estate marketing that builds confidence, the first thing you need to do is shift the center of your message. Stop making your business the hero of the story. Make the investor the focus. Talk to the questions they are already asking in their own head. What are the numbers? What is the downside risk? What makes this opportunity different? What proof do you have? What has your team done before? What assumptions are you making? What is the exit plan? How often will I get updates? What happens if things do not go exactly as planned? When your marketing starts answering those questions before they are even asked, you immediately become more trustworthy. And let me tell you something important here. Trust is often built before the first conversation. In many cases, investors decide how credible you are long before they ever speak to you. They decide based on your website, your brand language, your presentation, your follow-up, your case studies, your tone, your market understanding, your professionalism, and how clearly you explain things. People are always reading signals. The human brain does this fast. It is looking for reasons to feel safe or reasons to pull back. That is why small details matter. The wording on your homepage matters. The quality of your project summary matters. The way your team introduces the opportunity matters. The speed and clarity of your replies matter. These are all trust signals. This is also why growth stagnation often feels mysterious, because the business owner sees effort, but the investor sees friction. The business owner sees a campaign. The investor sees confusion. The business owner sees information. The investor sees missing proof. The business owner thinks, we already explained that. The investor thinks, I still do not feel sure. And if you do not understand that gap, you will keep working harder without fixing the real issue. Another thing that causes stagnation is poor follow-up. This one is huge. So many real estate businesses spend money getting attention, but then they lose momentum because they do not nurture the relationship. And investors usually do not move on first contact, especially serious investors. They need time, context, repetition, and reassurance. They want to see that you are steady, organized, and professional. A weak follow-up system can make a strong opportunity look weak, but a strong follow-up system can make an investor feel guided, respected, and informed. This is where simple systems change everything. I love systems because they remove guesswork. When your business has a system for investor communication, a system for lead nurturing, a system for sharing market updates, a system for presenting proof, and a system for aligning sales and marketing, then confidence starts to grow naturally. Not because you are trying harder, but because your business starts behaving in a way that feels dependable. Dependability is a very underrated marketing advantage. In uncertain markets, dependable businesses stand out. Investors notice who communicates clearly, who follows through, who shares updates regularly, who explains risks honestly, and who stays consistent when things get busy. This creates what I call calm authority. You are not chasing. You are not pushing. You are not trying to impress with noise. You are showing control, and control builds trust. Now, let's talk about the relationship between sales and marketing, because this is where confidence is often lost. If marketing says one thing and sales says another, trust breaks fast. If the website promises one kind of return and the sales conversation feels vague, trust drops. If the brochure looks polished, but the sales rep cannot explain the opportunity simply, trust drops. If your ads attract one type of investor, but your sales process speaks to another type, trust drops. Investors are incredibly sensitive to inconsistency because inconsistency feels like risk. That means sales and marketing have to be aligned around one simple investor story. What is the opportunity? Who is it for? Why does it matter? What proof supports it? What makes it lower risk or higher confidence than other choices? And what happens next if someone is interested? Everyone on the team should be able to explain that clearly and in the same basic language. Not word for word like robots, but with the same core message. Because consistency creates familiarity, and familiarity creates comfort. This is also where persuasion psychology comes in, and we can use it in a clean and ethical way. People trust what feels socially validated, clearly explained, and emotionally safe. So show proof. Use real case studies. Share simple numbers. Tell stories of past success. Show the thinking behind your decisions. Let investors see that there is structure behind the promise. The more invisible risk you can make visible and understandable, the more confidence you create. For example, instead of saying this is a great opportunity, say, here is why similar projects performed well. Here is what demand looked like. Here is the team structure. Here is the timeline. Here are the checkpoints. And here is how we communicate with investors throughout the process. See the difference? One is a claim. The other is a confidence-building experience. Investors do not want pressure. They want perspective. And this is why clear objectives matter so much. If your marketing has no clear goal, your audience can feel that. One week you're trying to look luxurious. The next week you are trying to look approachable. One campaign is aimed at first-time investors. Another sounds like it is for experienced private equity people. One message talks about passive income. Another focuses on community impact. Again, none of these angles are wrong by themselves, but if they are mixed together without clarity, your message loses power. You need to know exactly what you are trying to do. Are you trying to attract new investor leads, build trust with existing prospects, educate cold audiences, re-engage quiet leads, position the brand as premium and lower risk, clarify the business model, raise confidence before a launch? When the objective is clear, the message gets sharper. And when the message gets sharper, the investor knows how to think about you. Here is a simple truth. Confused businesses create confused buyers. Clear businesses create confident investors. That is why I always say, growth is often not about doing more. It is about making better decisions daily. Better decisions about your message. Better decisions about your process. Better decisions about what proof to show. Better decisions about who you are speaking to. Better decisions about what not to say. Because every message either increases confidence or decreases it. Let's also talk about narrative, because this matters more than people realize. Every business is telling a story, whether they mean to or not. The question is, what story is your marketing telling investors? Is it saying, trust us, we're trying hard? Or is it saying, here is a smart, disciplined opportunity backed by clear thinking, strong systems, real evidence, and a team that understands what investors need to feel secure? That second story is the one that wins. And you do not build that story with fancy language. In fact, the more complex you sound, the more distance you can create. Simplicity is powerful. Easy to follow explanations feel safe. Straight answers feel mature. When you explain a deal in a way that makes the investor feel smart instead of overwhelmed, you lower friction. That matters, because people move toward what feels understandable. You should also remember that investors are always comparing you, even when they do not say it. They're comparing your clarity against other opportunities, your professionalism against other teams, your follow-up against other offers, your proof against other pitches, your confidence against other markets. So if your communication is scattered, slow, or inconsistent, you're not just losing points in a vacuum. You're losing them in comparison to somebody else who made the choice feel easier. This is why strategic systems matter so much. Systems turn trust into something repeatable. They help you deliver the same quality of communication again and again. They make sure leads are followed up with. They make sure updates go out. They make sure investor questions are answered quickly. They make sure every part of the journey feels intentional. And when the journey feels intentional, the business feels stronger. I also want to say something important about honesty. Investor confidence is not built by pretending there is no risk. It is built by showing that you understand the risk. This is a major difference. Mature investors are not looking for perfect certainty. They are looking for intelligent handling of uncertainty. So when you can speak openly about market shifts, downside possibilities, and the steps you take to protect investor interests, you often become more credible, not less. Honest clarity builds deeper trust than polished vagueness ever will. And this is where businesses start to reframe growth the right way. Instead of asking, how do we get more attention? They start asking, how do we deserve more investor trust? Instead of asking, how do we post more content? They ask, how do we communicate more clearly? Instead of asking, how do we close faster? They ask, how do we reduce hesitation? That shift changes everything, because when trust rises, conversions rise. When clarity rises, sales conversations improve. When systems improve, follow-up improves. When messaging aligns with investor thinking, growth stops feeling random and starts becoming more predictable. So if your real estate business feels stuck right now, I want you to consider this. Maybe you don't need a total reinvention. Maybe you need a sharper message, stronger proof, better alignment, and simpler systems. Maybe the next level of growth is not hiding in another tactic. Maybe it is hiding in trust. That is the opportunity in investor-focused real estate marketing. It helps you stop speaking in general terms and start speaking to real investor concerns. It helps you move from scattered promotion to strategic communication. It helps you turn marketing into a confidence-building tool instead of just a visibility tool. And when your marketing builds confidence, your business becomes easier to believe in. So as you move forward, ask yourself a few honest questions. Does our messaging truly reflect what investors care about most? Are sales and marketing telling the same story? Are we presenting enough proof? Are we following up in a way that builds trust? Are our objectives clear? Are our systems helping us feel more consistent or more chaotic? And most importantly, when an investor interacts with our brand, do they feel more certain or more unsure? That one question can change everything. And as promised, I've got a free gift for you at the end. It's called the Trust Signal Implementation Framework, and it's designed to help you strengthen the signals your business sends so investors feel more confidence, more clarity, and more trust every step of the way. It comes directly from my asset list, and it is a great fit for this topic because strong investor marketing is really about trust made visible. Book a call with us if you're serious about taking your business to the next level. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it.